Hold on. And so, yeah, so this in lies the problem. This in lies the problem. The problem is that the so-called Black community that's basically run by the so-called Black woman, we are not allowed to have anything, and we better not move from our place. Can't go nowhere. This is why you can't build crap in the Black community. All right, what's up, Talkman Clan Killer? What's up, Spirit of Justice? All right, so if y'all can, bear with me. Hey, what's up, Antonio Johnson? Bear with me before I get into this as I try to set this information up. All right. And here's the thing, and this is kind of what's going to make this thing interesting. This topic here today. I hope y'all can see. I hope y'all can see the title. All right. I hope y'all can see what's really going on. I hope y'all can see that everybody is getting tired of not being able to keep what they've earned because the people that didn't earn crap, this would be the BAWs, all of that. The BAWs didn't earn nothing. They created these communities that we're about to talk about. But people are tired, right? People are just real tired. And this should be kind of a wake-up call. I mean, this should really be a wake-up call for some of these thug thizzle brothers out here that that run around. All right, these are the brothers that run around. Well, they call themselves brother, but what they do is they run around and they steal all of the Afro men stuff. These are the same dudes that run around and think that we are supposed to be beholden to a woman, to women that have been selling us out from the get-go. Can you say the get what? Go. I mean, they will sell you out in a heartbeat and then wonder why they don't have anything and you won't come to their aid. So we're going to get some understanding today. And we're going to get some understanding as to how real this is getting. Certain people have decided not to play. Y'all can see the title. They ain't playing no more. I kept telling people, Bolsonaro in Brazil got elected because of one thing. When we talk about Bumpy Johnson all the Caucasian gangsters and stuff like that. There were rules that they had when they were dealing in the stuff that they were dealing. The community was bad because of the community was bad if there was a gang, the community was bad. Nobody could go out. The gang violence was one mob on another mob. Understand this. Another thing you have to understand, that Luciano got into power. And to understand how he got in power, you have to understand Dutch Schultz. And I know y'all going back, man, you such a history, but we got to go back because this history is going to teach you something about the community as a whole. Easy for the mob at the time to get people to look the other way because the people that there were rules. And the mobsters didn't break certain rules. So what got Dutch Schultz into trouble and got him replaced by Lucky Luciano was that the Dutch, one, organized the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Why was this so important? People posed as the police. Oh, I got my one thumbs down already. I didn't even open my mouth. Somebody came here just to give me a thumbs down. Congratulations, idiot. All right. So what happened was Dutch Schultz, he got into because he organized that. All right. And what made that so bad is you got mobsters that posed as police and shot other mobsters in the back. So they shot them in the back while posing as police. Right? So the community was up in arms about the gangsters. The other thing that happened was they killed a child. Understand this? They killed a child. So now the community up in cuz they killed what? A child. All right, understand this. Now, we have no such outrage over little black gangster wannabe hood thugs killing children. As a matter of fact, they are the ones that's robbing people blind to the point where people don't care. And everybody is being risked. Everybody is taking the risk at really getting at something. All right. Let's discuss the risk factor here. Let's discuss what's really going on. Stuff in the favelas in Brazil has gotten so bad that even there is no honor at all with these dudes. Now, let me break something down. You got a number of outlying factors as to why this is. In the 1920s, all right, in the 1920s, you had a government that decided to, as they say, whiten out the population because they saw that they were outnumbered by the people of color. And so what they did was they got into the women's head and made a campaign and told black women that if you want to improve your race, The best way to do it is to date a white man and have a baby by a white man, thereby lightening the skin of your child, and that improves your race. Now, everybody with half a mind understand that you don't improve your race like that. You eliminate your race like that. Because after you stop having relationships with the Afro man, all right, then no one produces an Afro child. And I know, like, all these black women keep trying to say, oh, but if the baby come out of us, it's a black baby. No, everybody knows it's not. Everybody but the black women that's trying to use that deflection tactic, right? And the reason why they're trying to use that particular deflection tactic is for this reason. They're wrong. They are brutally wrong. And it shows their betrayal. Every time you see a really bright woman or a bright dude that's of an older age, basically that's them selling out the community as a whole. Well, that happened in a big way in Brazil. I did a couple of videos on this where the women were ashamed of their color and their culture. And so they thought that the culture of the people that oppresses people with lies, deceit. Remember, everywhere that Caucasians went, in order for them to get in to begin with, they were accepted as friends, community, hospitality. And the thanks that people got for this hospitality was stabbed in the back. Understand this. They got stabbed in the back. All right. Here's the thing. You got people worried about a whole bunch of crap that don't mean much of anything. All right. It doesn't mean much of anything. And the reason why it doesn't mean much of anything is everybody forgets the biggest picture of all. We kept giving the people that done us the most harm the biggest passes, simply because they had the same skin tone. Period. Not realizing that the power of the community was in the male and his ability to find a woman suitable to wife up. All right. But we weren't able to find one amongst the melanated. So you have to go elsewhere. But our salvation is to create children to whom we get to teach. And that's what everybody's missing. It isn't that you create children just to have children, but the children you create, you teach your stuff to. Basically, that's it. The reason why you create children is to teach them in the way that they should go. All right. Now, I think this is something that is, especially whether it's a dude I like or don't like. Well, one, I'm just not having one here. All right. But this is something I want y'all to understand. This is big. And the reason why this is big is usually when people allow something to go forth, you know, under the radar, like all the cop killings in the United States where the police were getting off. Don't think people in Brazil and all across the world that was having the same kind of problem didn't take notice and figure, if we want to decrease the population of those we might think may prove to be a potential threat, and by threat, what we mean is somebody that might have children in this case and even be innocuous. All right, even be innocuous. Here is the problem, people. There's a new type of policing going on to try to deal with the community that the Black woman made everywhere. All right. When I said here for wife material, the best, if all right, let me break something down about Brazil. If you have spiritual beliefs, like me, I'm hardcore, it's about the commandments. I'm not celebrating no Christmas or nothing like that. It ain't happening, right? So if you have these kind of beliefs, right, you'll find somebody, but it might be difficult when you tell them that you live by the commandments. All right. Hold on. Let me greet everybody. Spirit of Justice, Antonio Johnson, Afro Troop, Talkman Killa, Captain Marvel, Ducati Roddy, Warrior Scholar, David Bowman, Tracy Smith. Machine Gun Kelly. All right, thank you, thank you. No, I didn't say Al Capone. I thought it was Dutch Schultz. Okay, it was Machine Gun Kelly. But nevertheless, I forgot about Machine Gun Kelly. Al Capone, Al Capone is the one that brought in Lucky Luciano to deal with Dutch Schultz. And they also understood that they had to deal with Bumpy Johnson because he wasn't letting them take over Harlem. All right. And Dutch Schultz was trying to creep into Harlem also. And I do know this for sure. Dutch Schultz was the one that was responsible for the innocent child being shot. And so, yeah, they had to do something about him. He had a child shot and he was trying to get into Harlem. All right. So they had problems with the image and they had problems with, Bumpy Johnson. Good point, Jack McGurn. So, hey, no, good point, Ducati Royal. But Ducati Royal, he might have gotten his marching orders from Al Capone, but the marching orders from Al Capone might have been just deal with, the adversary. And he might not have approved the plan that Machine Gun Kelly went out with. If you really think about it. So Al Capone might have gave him in marching orders, deal with them. All right. But what happened was the Machine Gun Kelly came up with his own plan, and impersonating police was just a bridge too far. All right, so let's get into this. Y'all see the thing. That's not a title. That is an article by David Bueller, and it's Bloomberg in politics. Right? All right, so you see all the bullet holes on the car. All right, and so, it's the favela, right? Now, here's the thing. Here is the thing. And I hope some of the brothers in Brazil are watching this too. Because this goes out to them as much as it letting people here understand what's going on. All right. So in this, I sent out a message on Facebook, and I'm hoping those brothers will just click it and be able to listen. Okay. The important parts I will try to translate into Portuguese. All right. I will try to translate into Portuguese. All right. Um, Here I had a bunch of decisions to make, right? And this is it's the other thing that I looked that got into the way of what's going on. So these single women in Brazil, all right, these so-called dark women had children. What happened is in 1921, 1919 to 1920. Let me see if I can get that for you. I had read up on it, but on it. Um, it was 1889 to 1914. All right, and it was racial whitening or whitening. All right, and so we're going to go here to Wikipedia real quick. I usually don't like to use Wikipedia, but they're kind of on it with this one. Whoever's in my house need to get out. The police are on their way. All right. So basically, so as we get into this, right? Hold on for a second. So as we get into this, I hope y'all can see this. So in Brazil, between 1889 and 1914, as a solution to the Negro problem, it was positioned. It's specific to Brazil, and it goes along with the perception of class based on your color. And they were hoping that the Negro race would advance culturally and genetically, or even disappear totally within several generations of mixing between white people and black people. And by white people and black people, they're being nice here. What they mean is white men and black women. So I want y'all to understand that. Uh, Hold on, I'm trying to turn my camera off. Hold on 1 second. All right, I called the police to check my my house. All right, I want y'all to understand this policy, this program. All right, all right, all right. So understand this policy and program according to Wikipedia. Understand this. All right, so this is according to Wikipedia. All right, so basically, as you understand, racial whitening, and understand this. And what they did was they sent for Europeans, they paid for Europeans to come over to Brazil to screw the black women, only the men, not Caucasians, but the men of Europe came over from Europe to Brazil to screw the black women to make sure they could set up a thing where if their identity would be based on color. That's why there are so many identifications by color in Brazil, right? But they talked to these women, and y'all remember the video I did. And so basically, the women did not acknowledge their family heritage or their men. They bought into this whole hog, right? And as a result of it, they said to themselves, we will improve our race by destroying it. But the black women didn't understand it, but the Brazilians did, the government did. As you look down here, where you see the number 2, supporters of the whitening ideology believe that the Negro race would advance culturally or and genetically, which they knew that was a lie. And they knew that was a lie because of this reason. we are athletically superior for some reason. Well, for the reason this, we have greater muscle density and bone density. Muscle density and bone density usually leads to athleticism. When we understand who we are, then we start outdoing everybody because we have a longer history than any other culture on earth. The only other culture that comes close are the Chinese. But wait, let me give you this last fig Newton, like my brother Scribe would say. You got the advanced culturally, genetically, or even disappeared totally within several generations of mixed breeding between white people and black people. Now, understand, when they say white people, they mean white men and the black women. They got inside black women's head to not create any children with an Afro man, thereby him dying out without creating any seeds, right? She only then creates seeds with the Caucasian man, and then she dies out and takes the rest of the community with her, with the understanding that she watches the Afro community die out because she killed off the men. But it kind of backfired. And this is kind of how it backfired. It backfired because of this. They didn't understand how deep culture was in some of the areas of Brazil. All right. They did not understand how deep the culture was. All right. However, part of the damage that was done is what happened to the Europeans. They went back, understand this, to Europe and left all these children. And now all the negative impact that that would have, children being fatherless, is now what you have going on in the favelas. What's up, Daniel? All right. So now what happens is, since you got the women raising the children only in the favelas, understand this. Since you got this single mother thing going on in the favela, also the disparaging of Afro men, also unless they're in the thug population, then you create this hostile environment where survival, one, you're trying to survive, and two, the other thing that happens, not only are you trying to survive, but you're trying to survive and be greedy at the same time. Vanity and greed. Why? Because who's training these children? The mother is. The mother don't train the children to be men. They don't train the men to be men because they can't, because the mothers are not men. Period. All right. And so the difference between them, they go into hold on. I'm gonna tell you what these two ideologies were. These Aryanism and social Darwinism. Understand this. Aryanism and social Darwinism. Very, very, very racist. Y'all remember this picture y'all see in the bottom corner, right? And I told you what that is. All right. And so, even though Brazil has never been a racial democracy, they popularized that by all of this stuff. All right. Understand this curious quote. This is a quote, and y'all can see that I'm cutting it out. So, this thing that they're coming up with is really, really deeper than you think. All right. So, let's deal with this quote. All right. Now comes the necessity to devise some method of dealing with it, the Negro problem. So here's the thing, they brought people over here to be slaves, right? And then they're upset that the people really don't like being slaves. You mean to tell me that people don't like, and we're not talking about indentured servants like they try to say, oh, well, the white people they were indentured servants, right? We're not talking about, and make sure y'all be clear with this, chattel slavery. All right. And if you read this stuff, this is the thought process here. And I told you about this picture, the Hidgestone to come. A Hidgen Count Jicom. That's the name of the picture. Hidjikal Jicom. This is a picture in their gallery. And remember the video I did this and I tried to tell y'all about what this picture means. This picture means. All right. So here's the thing, everybody that took people as slaves were wondering, what do we do? Because the problem they had was people were going to learn what was done to them and be angry about it. So how did we wipe that out of the memory? Well, you go through the black woman. Okay. So here we go. The Hidden Count Jicum. The Hidden Count Jicum. Right? And they call it the redemption of Ham. All right. Hidden Count Jicum. Hidden Sound Jicum. Right? The painting depicts a black grandmother, mulatta mother, white father, and their grand child, Hence the generation of racial hypergamy through whitening. Understand this. The painting depicts a black grandmother, mulatto mother, white father, and their quadroon child, hence the three generations of racial hypergamy through whitening. Hypergamy. We've heard that word many times. Yes, kill the male child. All right. So I'm taking my time to give y'all the background of why they developed this policy that we're going to get to from this news thing, right? But you got to understand something. Everybody understood that what they did to Afro peoples with chattel slavery, especially in Brazil and the islands, was just downright wicked and evil. All right. So, how do you make them forget about it? You go through the woman and tell the woman, look, we will give you trinkets as in the United States. We'll give you welfare and subpar housing if you get rid of the good man. All right. We don't mind if you sleep with all the hood rats you want. All right. And they understood that that was a recipe for destruction. So that the black woman, but they get trinkets. Oh, and they get that one thing that they wanted in America. They want to be the head over the man. They want to rule the man because that's the women of Judah. All right. That's Eve. That's Hawa, the mother of all living. Mother of all living means that she slept with a bunch of stuff to create so many variations of human beings. In other words, she was a 304. All right. And so it kind of had an intersection of class and all of that, right? Now, why is that important? Because in that, the Brazilians and the Brazilian government created another problem. Oops, I didn't want that. Hold on. They created another problem. And this problem is now far worse. There we go. The problem that they now created was a state where you could not control the males, and they got guns from somewhere, but they got a bunch of them. All right. So now they're training their police, licensed to kill policing, to get a trial run in Rio de Janeiro. Came out December 22nd. Oh, that was yesterday. All right. So what is it saying? All right. First, they want to make it clear. State's governor has promised gunmen will face slaughter. Well, who are these gunmen that they are talking about? Oh, these are gunmen that they made with that 1889 to 1914 idea, the social Darwinism, to improve the race by telling people that they weren't worth crap unless they left the women slept with Caucasian men, and the women did that because they're that gullible. Women accepted to be accept women seeking to be accepted by evildoers. I want y'all to understand this. All right. Now, here's the story. Teams of marksmen next year will patrol swaths of Rio de Janeiro with high-powered weapons and a license to kill, said security advisor to Governor-elect Witzel. As many as 120 sharpshooters will accompany police incursions into the slums of Brazil, the slums which the government created with the people that the government created, enslaved, and created through their policies from 1889 to 1914. You know, telling the black women that you don't have any worth unless you sleep with a Caucasian man. Then made a policy where you sent out a message to the European men to come over here, screw the so-called black women so that they can make mulatto child, and then to keep that going so that you could wipe out the race through hypergamy. All right. And they understood that this is how you basically wipe out the race. Because as the men die out, not getting to have sex and create children that they could raise up in the culture that they know, the women take that from the men and, sleep with whomever they want. All right. And so they do this. And you can see this to this day. I keep saying that if you come to Brazil, you will find you a beautiful woman. But the chances of her being as dark as some of us are is highly, highly, highly unlikely. Because those women do not talk to brothers like us, the dark ones. But beautiful women of the hues don't have a problem with it. Go figure, right? Sorry, just took a swig of my juice. And I ain't sipping on no gin and juice. I don't know what I just did. All right. So that's basically it, right? And it's a miscarriage of justice. It's a travesty. Yeah, it's all of that. All right. But at the end of the day, if you look at who's really proud of being who they are, it is the Afro men. It's the Afro men who are proud of who they are. When you really think about it, it is the Afro men. We are the ones that really don't have a problem with our natural selves. As a matter of fact, we making it work. Now, here's the thing. I get females and everybody get mad at me because I'm with who I'm with. Or the people that don't do enough research, I get called the usual names. Y'all know the names. All right. The usual names when they get mad and they don't know that you have somebody. First of all, even though it's more likely that people in certain positions could have somebody if they want to, but choose not to, or do have people because they have that choice. All right. These are something that they just cannot understand. Why? because we are supposed to be, they want us to be the bottom. They actually want the Afro man to be the bottom. But good luck with that when they find out that we are not the bottom. They want us to be the bottom. And when you think about it, we are not, even despite having somebody attempt to put a foot on our throat. We're not, because we refuse to be. All right. And some of us are waking up and gaining our spirituality back. And that's killing folks right there. Because we're not buying into the Jeebus thing. We're not celebrating any other holidays. We're not doing none of that stuff. We're sticking to, you got a segment of brothers that's sticking to the commandment. But then again, you got a segment of brothers that's sticking to other things. All right? You got a spiritual awakening. I understand this. You have a spiritual awakening within the brothers in the United States. And that's kind of what you need in Brazil. Here with Brazil, you have the same problem with Brazil that you have in the United States. Hey, what's up, Mechadon? First, let me see who else popped in here. What's up, Dwight? All right. Got Captain Marvel. All right. DMR, Terrence Collins, Marvin Codd. What's up? All right. All right. Now, let me say this. Kendrick, what's up, man? Taurus Johnson, I think I got you though. Michael Duncan, I know I didn't get you. Let me ask, for those that want to be in here in the control room for the discussion, and you have Hangouts, Google Hangouts, if you have something to add to this, just let me know. I'll send you the link to join the show. All right, in the control room, so that I won't be the only one talking. I usually put that out when I'm doing a big deal right here, because I'm pretty sure somebody else sees something that I don't from time to time. All right. So in this, right, I want to break something else down. So in this, so you got this hyper-violent culture that's living off this violence. Why? Because it is what it is at this point. They have no option in their minds. There is no one here to show them anything different. All right? There is no one here to show them any different. Hold on for a second. Go ahead, post it in the group. All right. Hold on. So, so it is what it is. Hold on for a second. So it is what it is, right? Now, you got a lot of things just going on right quick. Let me do this real quick. If you want to join me in the conversation, if you want to join in the control room, in the conversation personally, and you have Google Hangouts, click the link. You'll be able to speak. All right. So herein lies the problem. So this whole mess was created, right? And now y'all are starting to see why the history matters. Y'all say, why did he go all the way back to 1889 to 1914? All right. What does that have to do? It has everything to do with it. Because when you brainwash the women into throwing their culture away, throwing their people away, and stuff like that, and then you sucker them into opening their legs for a bunch of people that's going to go back to their homeland and leave them to raise all these children to be in the streets and do it generation after generation after generation. Okay. Remember, what did they call it? Racial hypergamy. They wanted to eliminate the race through the mentality of the woman, saying that by the third generation, if the Caucasian men are the only ones that screw with the black women, the generation of black men would die out, and they will screw the black out of the rest of the population through the women. Because the women, according to like the Willie Lynch letters said, they will teach their children to detest themselves, to not like their color. Remember, I kept telling y'all that brothers have real love, but the first people to really hate us because of our color was our own mothers in many cases. Oh, you black just like your father. Crispy. That's what all that came in. My problem, that in that beef with Tommy Sotomayor, y'all know I've been doing this for 9 years. I mean, since 2009. That's more than 9 years almost. All right. So I've been doing this since 2009. I was around when Tommy Sotomayor started up. We started up probably the same time. Only I didn't have like 500 channels like he did. So when they took, now I got a few. But when they took down my channel, my one channel, they killed the channel. The only saving grace was that I saved my videos. All right. So I was able to put it back up. Now, my problem with what's his name was the crispy comment. Who was that was calling Tommy Sotomayor crispy? I had a problem with that. Not with the dude, with the comment. Made me not want to have anything to do with the dude. All right. And then his policing tactics, his I guess comedic version of Soul Train. All right. I had a big problem with that. Oh, simplify USMC vet. Right. And so this is basically it. Right. So now you got this super hostile environment that has been created by all of the problems of the political it definitely is. It always is good. And full of facts, by the way. And so, basically, yeah, Tariq Nasheed, right? And so basically, even with his hidden colors, he was off on a lot. But we wouldn't get that because a lot of people don't go and pay attention to history. They don't research history for themselves to know if somebody is going to be off by a lot and stuff like that. Now, he did a lot of things. It was a good way to put a film together, but his information was off by a lot. All right, here's the thing. I detest being called black because I'm not black. I'm Aboriginal. Black is a color. So we need to start calling ourselves by who we are. We're the Aboriginal people of the land. And we're mixed with some of the people that came from the motherland. We originally came from the motherland, but we came here 10,000 years before anybody else did. See, so we need to get it clear. We're not black. All right, call us Aboriginal, because you can't call me black either. Yes, the Hebrews, right? And I'll even go for the Negroes. All right, but you better not add another G and an ER on that. Yeah. Oh, I missed that, Michael Duncan. Okay. And Trey, TREX, Trey Manifest. Your background is not Jamaican. Jamaican is what the white people call the island. You're probably indigenous or you're from the motherland. So you got a definite background. It's not the leftover that you were something before they brought your ancestors to Jamaica, or you may have already had some ancestors in Jamaica. Because y'all know my last class in geography, come to find out that the Polynesian and then you got the Melanesians. Oh, what's the Melanesians? That's black people that were on all these islands before the Polynesians got there. And so what? Jamaica's an island, so you probably was there first too. So you're probably an Asian of some kind. All right. To call you a Jamaican is to wipe out whatever you were before they decided to call that island Jamaica. Okay, so let's get back to this. So they created this environment where the brothers don't know who they are. All right. The mothers are some of the ones strung out on some of the drugs here. Let's be clear. So the mothers are the ones strung out on some of the drugs. Now the daughters sleep with, they look for a Caucasian man or they look for a thug. Same thing. The only thing is that's getting rid of this is Afro men that are showing up. Afro men are showing up. Understand this. Some of us, not many, but just a few. Some of the times you only need a few to show up and care, right? But we showing up, doing our thing, showed up. Now, understand this. Understand this. That what usually happens is in this, you got a condition that is so bad that not only is it not bad for the government, I mean, not only is it bad for the government, but it's also for the bad for anyone living around them or anyone that looks like them. But I will give these Brazilians credit. They'll rob an American Caucasian just as soon as they'll rob their own. But that's the problem. They're robbing their own. And so now, and they're doing unwise things. All right. Remember what I said about Lucky Luciano, Bumpy Johnson, and stuff like that? That they died of old age. All right. And it's just wicked. All right. It's wicked how they do things. There is no honor. There is no commandments. There's a lot of religion here, like in the United States. There's a lot of Christianity. You got a whole bunch of people, not me, but you got a whole bunch of people about to have Christmas dinners. I was invited to one, and I hope they're listening. But for the reason that I was invited on Christmas Day, I'm not going. I would rather be at peace in my room, me and the Most High, than go to a Christmas dinner. I mean, period. All right. I'll probably be making a video about how evil the holiday really is. So I will probably at this time put a reminder in people's minds of how fake it is and who we really supposed to be. We're not supposed to be falling for this religious BS. All right. Y'all seen the favelas? Y'all seen pictures on the that I have on the wall when I go up there? You see, Jesus is Maylor, the best. He's Senor. He's the Father. All right, all right. You see Jesus all over the place. Why is he all over the place and nothing is improving? No one ever asked that question. Why is the community getting worse and worse? Oh, because the only person Jesus is good for is the women, not the children, not the men. Why? Why? Because it's not helping them create these. I mean, these are some dangerous places. And so now the police decided that they are going to eliminate them through slaughter. Okay, now let's read this. And this is a quote. All right, special police unit aimed their rifles in a security operation in October. All right, so we talked about the 120 sharpshooters that will accompany police into the slums of Brazil, and those slums are called favelas, postcard city to eliminate gun-toting criminals, according to Flavio Paca, a longtime associate of Witzel, who the governor-elect press officer will join the administration. The shooters will work in pairs, one to pull the trigger and one to monitor conditions and videotape the deaths. Now, hold on, let's go into the protocol. And then I'm going to bring up one other story that's the problem with this mentality of the Brazilian government. The protocol will be to immediately neutralize, slaughter anyone who has a rifle. What Witzel, a federal judge and a former Brazilian Marine, told reporters in Brasilia on December 12th, whoever has a rifle isn't worried about other people's lives. They're ready to eliminate anyone who crosses their path. This is a grave problem, not just in Rio, but also in other states. Rio has long exemplified Brazil's charm and its chaos. And what happens there echoes at home and abroad. Like President-elect Jair Bolsonaro, Witzel cruised to victory in October, promising a brutal crackdown on criminals to make the daily life harrowing ordeal. Rio will be providing ground for Bolsonaro's philosophy of maximum force, whether the law enforcement devolves into a storm of extrajudicial killings. And whether law enforcement devolves into a storm of extrajudicial killings. So the police are going to become Judge Dredd. Man, this is Judge Dredd. Y'all, this is Judge Dredd. All right. So Witzel declined distant death. They'll be able to shoot people from up to 600 meters away. He will create a security council that answers to him directly. Purchase as many as 30,000 security cameras. It's going to be a police state. Distant death. Take a look at that. Now, I'm going to tell you the problem with this. And I'm gonna give it to you like this: the good and bad, the bad and the ugly. All right, judge, jury, and executioner. Macadon. Yeah. DMR the Traveler. Look, I wouldn't put it past. I would not put that past somebody. As a matter of fact, we might get to that in this article. They saw Israel. Wait a minute, who's eliminating all the people of color from the country that they stole from the people of color? Remember, Joshua said that he meant to say Hebrews, but he said Jews because that's what they're now calling us, Hebrews. The Jews left black but came back white. Joshua said that. It was posted in Time magazine. Go look it up. You'll see the quote on the cover of Time magazine. Right? They have went and sought ideas from Israel. They have gone and sought ideas from Israel. And that is in this article. All right. They're not allowed, they don't have no First Amendment, a right to bear arms just in case the government decides to go bonkers like it's doing now. What's going on in Brazil is exactly what many of our Caucasian friends are worried about in the United States. It isn't that they hate us, black people. They don't like us, but they hate the government worse is because they fear that the government has gone so crooked that they would do some crap like this. And like I said, yep, NASA said, yep. Thank you, Roddy Benoit. And like I said, you got eyes on this situation, but you got Israel that is the foreign hand that is putting these ideas into them. As a matter of fact, they're training them. Paca police officer himself, a regular attending at Williams transition meeting, said groups of 20 policemen will begin undergoing a month-long marksman training as soon as March. After they can kill at not arrest, not bring to justice. Moment. After they can kill at 600 meters. This better be the police. Hello. Yes. Uh-huh. Hey, Tahing, let me call you right back. Go ahead. I have an idea. Yeah, but that was out of anger. Um, so all right, so okay. let me say this. This is a longer conversation that we're going to have. Okay. So I'll talk to you. Okay. I'm going to talk to you, but later. Right. Do you have Facebook Messenger? Okay. Well, let me talk to you in a little bit. All right. I'm doing some very important things, and somebody tried to break into the house, and but I'll talk to you in a little bit. It's going to be we're going to have a long conversation. Okay. And I'll fill you in on what I know and what happened and all the rest of that. And there's another thing. There was some text messages that was being sent to the CPS lady's phone, but the people sending the text message didn't know that your twine had the CPS lady's phone. So I'll explain everything because everything came to light. All right, but I'll talk to you a little later. Okay, give me a call. Hold it. Give me a call after school break because I'm gone for school break. I went back to college. Okay, so and I won't be back to January 21st. Okay, so we'll need to talk. Okay, all right, all right, bye. All right, sorry. Well, I ain't sorry about that. Okay, so that was that. Well, y'all heard what's going on. All right, so basically, one will be shooting, the other one spotting targets. All right. Society and jurists are shifting their views on what constitutes imminent danger that justifies lethal force. So they're changing the definition of imminent danger, right? That justifies force. And targets don't need to be actively shooting. Shooting. For those of you like y'all know I got bad eyes. That's why I type in all caps. Right? Ooh, MC Vet. Oh man. Oh man, you sure right. They sure do. All right, let me see what happened to my feed just now. Is my feed just still here? Yes, it is. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3. All right. All right. I'm gonna tell you what's really going on. It's a trap. Ooh, $3 assassin first. What's up? And yes, yes, yes. I think this is why. I think this is why there was such a hurry to move the NGO. I think this is why there was such a hurry to move the NGO, and also why there's a little more concern for my safety. All right, and so even me, um, well, people in I don't know. It's something. It's navigating that I have to do when I'm out and about. Right? It's some navigation that I have to do, right? I told the children, I told people I will come teach English in the streets, and that's what I'm still going to do. So I'm gonna take my chances, right? But when you look at this, when you look at this last part, that justifies lethal force and said that the targets don't need to be actively shooting. All right, now let me explain the problem that you have. And I'm going to say this. The thing that hurt me the most here was the last time I was here, like 3 weeks ago, one of my friends that was putting up a gym, that had a gym, got robbed at gunpoint. They're closing the gym and the pool and everything. The guy with the gun wanted the earphones and the watch. Remember those Invicta watches? Now, they wear a lot of the Invicta watches on the train, right? And I'm not even sure that's the watch that they took. But I gave him one of my favorite Invicta watches, and I replaced his headset with this touchscreen one. And all right, but he's closing the thing because he has to think about the safety of his family because his wife and child is there all the time, right? And so, do he want these armed people out shooting people at 100 feet? You better believe it, because he don't have no gun. What's the message? He doesn't have a gun. Here's the problem in Brazil. The thugs understand that good people don't have guns. The good people understand that the thugs and bad people have guns. The thugs automatically understand that if they go up to good people, chances are they're not going to have a weapon because Brazil doesn't allow for people to protect themselves. Do you know where the police were when my friend got robbed? Well, no, where to be found. And then, could the police have been able to prevent that theft? Nope. He can call the police after he gets robbed. But how is he to protect his family when the police, remember, all these poor people got guns. Where did they get them from? How can he protect his family when the poor people know that nobody that's good has a gun? I want y'all to let that sink in for a second. The thugs here knows that no one that is a good person has a gun. So they could go up and just rob anybody at will. And they pretty much are doing that. All right. So since they can't protect themselves, now that sets up this kind of confrontation to where they go to Israel, get some training, and now they're going to shoot people at 600 yards. Right? Now we're going to get back to this story in a moment, but I want to remind you of another story. I want to remind you of another story. Hold on. So we got people that's going to take people out at 600 yards. Man, that's a long distance, right? Those of us that was in the army understand this. Our longest target was at 300 meters. All right. Now, I want y'all to understand something, and we'll get back to this. But first, let's get this understanding. Y'all remember this case? North Miami. You see the Afro dude?
It's like, please don't shoot me. But why they shot the black boy and not the fat boy?
So, video camera. The video camera, and that's the question. Why did they shoot the black guy? All right. Now, y'all saw the guy, hands up, right? And still was shot. And that they were all right. Now, the problem with the problem with I see all these shootings of Afro men because when you kill somebody and you're able to make the story up on camera after the fact, see, we're accustomed to that in the United States. Helping you with your training is Brazil, who we know do not like dark people. All right, now hold on. Let me read this up here. So, you don't need to be actively shooting, right? So now Afro men walking around with cell phones that live near or in the favela will now be shot at a distance. This is what I see coming. And then they're going to walk up and see that it was a cell phone. But because one will have the camera, they'll be able to shoot from an angle that you can't tell whether it was a gun or not. And remember, they're looking for a rifle. All right. How many Afro men were shot for a cell phone? Oh, Amadou Diallo shot 41 times for his wallet. All right. This is what we're accustomed to from police with this kind of authority to just, well, kill unarmed Afro people. Oh, and when we're talking about the favelas, when we're talking about the slums, we're talking about the poor people, poor places that was specifically made poor by the government. But here's the problem with the poor people. Why I'm kind of in between all of this, because it's not even clear cut. Because the poor people have taken on the mentality of their mothers, where they are as greedy for stuff that they didn't earn, and feel like they should be sporting it. Oh, and American culture has a lot to do with that. Materialistic. So the poor people have become materialistic when they used to not be. Like when I give soccer balls to the children are generally happy. And me, as you know, I don't need much. I gave my watch away and my earphones away because I figure if I need them that bad, I can at least buy another one cheaply when I get back to the United States. Something that this brother can't do. All right. And so they go, concept is changing. Something about the people of Brazil. It is not for nothing that Bolsonaro was elected. Not for nothing that Witzel was elected. Pekka said. He pointed to a jewelry store thief who this month used an octogenarian as a human shield during an escape. As he stumbled, officers shot him dead at point blank range. Police an ovation. That's what you're going to see. Here's the problem. The problem is that some of these dudes in certain places are such weaklings that they are using other people as human shield. And so it's not like the old school gangsters that didn't do this kind of crap. So people kind of look the other way. It is like these people eliminated because they just seen them use a grandma as a shield. I am understanding the grief that my friend feels for being robbed. I kind of hate to go somewhere. Fortunately, my alarm is very, very, very loud. Y'all may have heard it. As people was at my, also fortunately, I'm able to police. Alarm and I can hear talking. I can save them. And I could save whatever triggered it. People are tired of stolen by people raised by single women. You know what? I don't want them to have a dad, or we don't need no man to train them, or that if the brainwashing was so me, and even though you have promise with you, why you think Pele got a light white woman? It isn't that he was programmed. He understands the programming. He understands that he pretty much didn't have a choice. A lot of us are starting to find out that we are taking, if a beautiful woman likes me, I'm taking her regardless. I ain't waiting on no woman her life. All right. And so let's see. Humans and United Nations will have a fit for a congressman need letter. The cleansing must be done. So when they say cleansing, they mean murder. And it's murder. You declare war on a group of people, let's say the Afro people, the people of color, the people that they made, and you're saying, we kill you, but you do not get to fight back. Here is my concern. I think there's enough in Brazil to into a civil war. Will make my buddy Franco don't believe these people, but I'm saying, look, dude, you're an honest person. By how many honest white people? But I do know this. People say they want to kill some black people. It usually happens that way. No, if it, I don't this I don't know if this is political or whatever it is. I don't know. Hear the worst. On one hand, you grab an old lady, children, these black dudes don't think, and they is trapped. Period. Into the trap. Period. And that when they fell into these, they opened these gates for this. Now I'm gonna say something, and this is crazy. The commandments, even in that activity that they're in. In other words, they shouldn't be robbing people and stuff like that. But again, I say this is a female mentality. No matter how much money they get, it's not enough. Or money other people work. They don't care. So now you get where to stand with this because of how upset. Understand this. My friend who got the gun pulled on him, yeah, he's a black dude. So everybody is getting tired of this. Everyone is getting tired of people not being able to protect them and taking their hard-earned work. Period. All right. Period. And so people don't know death in the rain. All right. Now, here is the problem. All right. Y'all see this title, Death in the Rain. Even before Witzel. And here's your problem with the 600 feet snipers. Real police increasingly resorted to force. More people die at their hands during the first 2 months of 2018 than any year since the state record began in 2013. The 1,444 dead represent a 39% increase from 2017. All are not justified. Understand this. Not all are justified. And here's the now you get the other problem. On a rainy day, on a rainy September day, hold on. Let me break this down to you. Understand this, right? This is the problem. In their hillside favela that look shy at them. According to local press, he died in. That's the problem with. All right, that is the problem. All right, that is the problem. Here's the thing. Official impunity. General Richard Nunes, Rio's acting security secretary, said violence alone cannot resolve the issue, that the military has strengthened institutions and recovered operational capacity within training plus new equipment. Since April, when the military intervention gained traction, muggings, homicides, and armed robberies of stores declined as soldiers became a constant presence, Nunez says. If we don't address the public security with a broader vision instead of thinking things get resolved by tactical direct confrontation, the tendency is for indicators to worsen, Nunez. And that's where I am with this. Killings this year, totally undesirable and unexpected. And you know, in this, the police killed a lot of innocent people. As long as police face few consequences for killing people, the cycle of violence remains, according to Daniel Wilkinson, America's managing director at Human Rights Watch. So, what do we call this in America? We call it giving police the power to murder with no accountability. So here's the thing. So another lady was very Celia de Silva, a single mother of four who sells bottled water at traffic lights, said traffickers walk around her favela brazenly shouldering rifles. Her daughter was mugged 3 weeks ago by four men in the neighborhood below. All right. So she's hoping for a new change. Here's the thing. The problem in Brazil is the police, the Selma, like they're really concerned for my safety, right? They're real concerned for my safety, right? And I said, I am in more harm. I may be in more harm when I'm up in the favela area by police than by the drug dealers. All right. And it is brazen up here. It is brazen up here. Okay. Um, it is it's brazen up here because the Brazilian government, along with the single mother phenomenon, created a super hostile environment where women raised these children, and then the children decided that were boys decided, well, we're men and we're not going to be women. And so the male role models they saw was the drug dealers, the gangsters, and stuff like that. So you have what you have. You understand? You have what you have. And you really can't do much with it because, well, it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. These are hard things that's going. But what really kills me is how no one actually really addresses the nature of the people that's creating this mess. All right. The bottom line is this: there is a solution. All right. The solution is a couple of things. Make the police accountable for each innocent life they take, and they're not going to be shooting this indiscriminately at people holding umbrellas. Remember, I told you about the wallets? Two, address this single mother phenomenon and start teaching in school how the nature of who people were before the Portuguese got here. And maybe that will go a long way of giving people some pride. All right. So get this idea that the Caucasians had here in Brazil in 1898 through 1914. We're going to put pride in people by stripping them of their pride in self. All right. And we knew that was a damn lie from the beginning, right? That we knew that doesn't put pride in people. But their real goal was all the poontang that they want for the Europeans to make this a vacation spot. They made money off of that. All right. But in the end, this is what this was. This had nothing to do with all the rest of that crap they talking about. All right, pride in what? All right, one. These women just need to be retrained. Period. All right. They need to be retrained to understand that the pride is in their own culture. All right. The pride is in good men. All right. And not the thugs and everything. All these women, even in the United States, want people to think that there's something special because they had all these babies by thugs, and they think that their coochie is still special because they turned 35. All right. We're supposed to be creating babies, the people that have resources, that are able to take care of a house, that have an apartment. We're talking apartment, house, whatever you have, but a roof over the head. um, no, I wasn't like damn. But anyway, the people that could put roofs over the women's head and keep it like that, feed and clothe and teach. But no, all these women see that as a negative. All right. The youngest women give up all their goods to the worst of the men in both cultures, in the United States and in Brazil. All right. And instead of finding a good Afro man that has some skills, some work that's in him and stuff like that, they want one dude and they want that dude to be sorry. That's what it is. They want to be in charge of one dude, but they want that one dude to be a sorry dude. Right? Because nothing like having a sorry dude. You figure you're not getting a bunch of children looking for the not only to take care of you, but the children that you had by the sorry dude. Oh, you're looking for the same good men that you skipped over. Think about that. And that's why you never trust a big butt and a smile. All right. That's why you don't trust these. You don't do it. All right. And part of the reason you don't do it is this. All right. Part of the reason why you don't do it is this. If you weren't good enough for them as a man in their youth, when you had resources, they're not worthy to get your work resources when they hit 30, 35 and have some other man's children. Us men with resources should never talk to women that have children unless she is a widower. All right. Y'all might wonder, why do I try to do so much for children, right? But under scripture is a segment of people that we're supposed to take care of. One is our elders. Two, fatherless children. Because usually if they're fatherless, they're motherless too. So we take care of them. Three, widows. Widows are worthy to remarry or a wife up. And let's not use the word marry because we shouldn't be getting married. We should be finding wives, and wives should be finding husbands. And all of us should stay away from the legal system of what everything is. Because that is nothing but a money pit. And the people making the most money is the Caucasian. The people doing the most damage is the women. All right. You women that are on here wondering why Afro men are going to refuse to protect you from now on, because you're not worthy of it. If you are a woman that's been passing over good men that would be protectors, all right, and we move on, You're done. We're not going to risk our lives anymore. All right, the ones that will risk their lives for you, like the video I put up yesterday. Hold on, let me find this link. Y'all have to look at this video again. I don't know how many of you seen the video. All right, but I'm gonna send the link. I'm gonna send the link to the video. The link to this video, y'all watch it. And I don't know how many of you have seen it, but it's the one where I say what the problem is with the Black community. All right. Hostile, BAW, and simp. Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Navi back again. All right, y'all have to see this video. All right, you have a hostile on this video here. Hostile simp who, no, you have a hostile BAW, hostile Black woman, her friend simp, and an LGBT woman, right? All, you got the one with the gun, you got the simp that has to pull off when he hears the police, right? But he is thug simp. I explained the difference between a simp, regular simp, a thug, and a thug. All right. And so here's the thing. Pookie and Ray Ray always been going through it. And that's why their job is to punish the Black woman that picks them. All right. Because they're the ones that created them. Understand this. I started to understand this a while back. That's why I never really got upset at thugs. And that's why I didn't really care about thugs that got all the women. All right. Because all the women they got, they were going to get them women. And by get, I mean get them back. All right. And so basically, this is what it is. We have a bunch of single-minded, I don't need no man women that's creating these situations everywhere. We have them creating this situation by the blueprints of the government and the plans of the government. Okay. And so, and in Brazil, they playing. Yeah, like I walk past machine guns too. All right. Period. Right. Ride by them on the motorcycles. I'll be on them. And so it is what it is. Right. But the problem is, okay, the problem is this, that new communities of Afro peoples need to be created. And it's going to be Afro man based, and it's going to be the women that decide to be with the Afro man. All right. The way I see it, I get help from a few sisters and a lot of brothers. All right. I haven't met in my community sisters willing to help me do what I do. But the funny thing is that it's because of my YouTube channel that I understand that there are sisters out, because there are. I got one that sends me donation as far as England. All right. Now they ain't sending no $100 or $1,000 donation, but they're sending enough, you know, and it helps me do things. Everybody that helps me help out enough that we could buy balls, magic markers, and stuff like that. Never really understood how much y'all don't understand how important the magic marker is. I had to explain that to somebody. Okay. I don't know. I think I might have showed it in the last one video where I showed you how much the stuff cost that was taken from me. All right. And then by me writing on all the balls with a $3 magic marker, you know, the fat ones, and getting the children to help me. So the children, and I think one girl that I paid to, you know, do my hair and paid to help me, she helped me, you know, organize the things and pack, right? These magic markers, it was her, I explained it. I showed her what the stuff was that got taken by customs because I didn't have nothing written on the balls. So they said, oh, you're going to sell them. I'm going to go try to get those balls back probably next week sometime. All right. Now understand this. They've had my stuff for a year. Right. And I'm waiting to see what they're going to do. I filed official papers and stuff like that. Right. So I'm going to just go up there. I'm going to buy a plane ticket, go to Sao Paulo and try to deal with it. I'm better with the speaking Portuguese now, so I could pretty much handle myself now. Right? But had I decided to write on those balls with a magic marker, you know, a lot of that would not have happened. And so that's the lesson I learned from that. That's a $3 magic marker. Say thousands of dollars in stuff that I give out to the children in the favelas. Now, think about this. I ain't going to make soccer players, but if I give them the practice and they go to the field and practice, who knows? Somebody might get great and remember that. Well, the person giving them soccer balls just gave it to them. Didn't want nothing from them. Didn't want no friendship or nothing. Right? Didn't want them to join their religion or nothing. They didn't want nothing from them. Person just gave it to them. All right. Well, that person then just might give other people stuff out of the goodness of their heart, not wanting anything in return. You understand? And so a lot of stuff that's little becomes very important. A lot of stuff that's historical explains why stuff happened. All right. See, y'all didn't know how deep that this racism and this colorism is. And this racism, they might want to call it colorism. No, it's race is right? But y'all, had I not showed you what happened in 1898 or 1889 to 1914, all right, you want to understand how we got to here where you could just shoot people from 600 yards away. No, they can't. That's why you go through, that's why you train the children. Ah, there you go. That's why you train the children. All right, Mechadon, why you think I have love for children? I understand that you can't tell her, once you get a teenage girl, you can't tell her nothing. Even her mom can't tell her nothing. Her mom wish she could. And this is when she she tried to get men to be the police tag and help her raise her children when it's too late. And that's the problem with the American Black woman. And that's the problem out here, really. All the people having children are not equipped to raise them. All right. So I don't know how to look at what Brazil is about to do or what they're trying to do. I don't even know if they're going to do it. All right. But what I do know is this. They created a situation that they're trying to fix. By they, I mean the government. All right. They're not even trying to fix the situation in the way that they need to fix it. One of the problems is in the favelas, it's hard to teach anything because nobody wants anything taught. I asked someone close to me, female, I was like, don't you know your history here? Because I was telling them things about some things that happened here. And they were all about religion, but did not know their history. I mean, not even the least bit of history. Hey, what's up? What's up, man? Christopher Daly, what's up? From Estonia. Understand this. This is how deep it is. Many of the people here in Brazil are not familiar with their history because the families decided not to teach it. And so when children grow up not understanding how they ended up in the situation that they're in, all right, it's a mystery, then they don't know how to get out, or they don't know how to think to get out. But don't know their history. And I asked them, I asked them, I was like, oh, so back to da-da-da-da, and so this happened in Brazil. I was like, you don't know your history? No. Don't know their history. This is why I am glad to do capoeira. Capoeira is a beautiful thing in that all the people that learn it learn the history, and in learning the history of capoeira, they learn the history of Brazil, and it's not pretty. All right, and so that's basically it. All right, so I mean, I see most of what y'all think about this. Um, I'm testing something right now, right? I'm monetizing 2 videos. I'm curious about something because they okayed the monetization of my channel, but I didn't monetize anything. But 2 videos, I just wanted to see if it was possible. What's up, Miss Midwestern 800? I just wanted to see if it was possible, right? And one, straight to all my videos go straight to in review. And I was like, you know what? I'm not messing with that. And this is the other reason why we can't do anything in a community. Because you got many that will block your resources if you don't meet with their approval. You know, like the women that go up on your job and try to get you fired. We're the only one that have, you know, you have everybody do the fake stuff, but we're the only ones that have women that, as a rule, decide to destroy their man, their man, the person they're in a relationship with, by going up there and making sure he would never be able to get another job at all. Right? Somebody often said that the thing that I call black women out for, white women do it too. I never said white women didn't do it. I said the difference between the white women and the black women is the black women expect the cover of simps and other women, and they get it from simps and other women for doing the same evil that the white women and Hispanic women and all other women would be shamed for by their respective communities. And if any man dared to shame a black woman for actually doing evil, they would have to suffer. Well, we don't suffer. We would have to fight with the simps and the black women as they defend the evil that's been done to the community. That's the difference. All this twerking that black women do, you got a bunch of thirsty Negroes throwing money at them. Miley Cyrus, after that thing with the what MTV Awards or VMA or whatever, when she did that twerking with Robin Thicke, you ain't heard a peep from her since, huh? That's because her community got in on that action and tamed that. Like, no, that's it. We let you slide for a little bit. You was all right. Who had one? Captain. Yeah, you saw the video. You saw the video. Yeah, so yeah, and so basically, and I deal with you don't hear me say unless I talk about politics, news shows, a little bit about the true history in Africa and Brazil, because these are things that I know. I don't talk about white women. I don't know them like that. I know what black women did in my community, though. I let the white people talk about what the white people, women are doing in their community. As a matter of fact, what happened is during breakfast, I recognized that a bunch of people out of the ordinary was speaking English, right? And I was like, wow, these people are speaking English. One was from Germany. I don't know where the other guy was from. All right, and his woman. But we were sitting down there talking, and the dude from Germany was saying that they're having in Germany the same problem with their women that is the problem here in the United States. Ratchetness without accountability. That was a German man. But he knows that, so I ain't going to talk about what's going on in Germany. But I'm going to relay to you that he's saying that the same thing that's going on in Germany, from his personal view, is what's going on. And they're going to China and Korea and Taiwan to get a better quality of woman. See, what black women messed up is they thought that their quality was in their behinds and not in how they act. All right. But people are tired of seeing black women turn communities into places where people feel like they could come and just take high power rifles and just shoot anybody and nobody will care. Because in all probability, the communities have gotten so bad that pretty much people don't care if you do that. You have organizations that's supposed to care about that care, but that's pretty much it. All the rest of the people are tired of being robbed by entitled individuals who won't work for anything, won't help you for anything, but still think they're entitled to your stuff by hook or by crook. Where did they learn that from? Oh, they're single mommies. So you got a bunch of tired people, a bunch of people that said, we can't take it no more. All right, you got the men, you got a brain drain in the United States, which is the same problem as Africa. We're going to talk about them tomorrow. All right. There's and how China is slowly but surely taking Africa's stuff, because the people that you got there running the governments are not the very, very intelligent one. You know why? Because those are the people that stabbed the intelligent people in the back. Like, hey, come here, my friend, and then kidnapped them and gave them to the sold them to the white people. Why is it that that the Africans and the Aboriginal people here got along so great? Because we were the spiritual elite, we were the physical elite, and we were the thinkers outside of the box. Look up the Gullah Wars. That was 100-year war that was only stopped by this Civil War. And had that war would have continued past the Civil War, black people would have got their freedom because they fought for it. And you're right, it is about greed. These single mothers are teaching their children greed without teaching them how to get the resources to obtain what they want. So they're getting it by hook or by crook. And on one point, These mothers teach their children all the way up to 8, 9, 10. By the time they hit 10, they want to be men like the men they see in the street with guns, and so they go and do that. And that's why you can see 13, 14-year-olds who in stoops with AK-47s. And it's not out of place to me. I understand how I got that way. All right. Period. It is what it is. People got to understand that everybody is getting tired of these communities that have been created by the government and the single black mother. Understand this. What's up, Radiant God? Understand this. People are tired. People have had enough. And they're saying it's pretty much time out. All right. So I'm about to shut this down. We're going to talk about what's going on in Africa too, and why it's going that way, and how China is able to do what they're doing. All right. So with that said, y'all, I'm out. Peace, love, and soul. All right. I'll holler back at y'all on the back end. All right. And y'all, I'm just keeping it real. So y'all got the background on everything. You got how everything is happening. All right. Go look at that other video. It starts off with Hostile 304. No, Hostile BAW. Look at that video. All right. And you'll see what I mean. All right. With that said, I'm out. Peace, y'all.